It might be productive to consider the American Revolution on three levels: as a colonial campaign against the British, as a civil war between Loyalists and rebel Britons in the colonies, and then after 1777, as a phase of an imperial war in which the colonies made good their demand for independence with the assistance of French allies. Each level entailed particular problems and demanding solutions, some of which would have far-reaching consequences after the war. Intolerable acts are names used to describe a series of 5 laws passed by the British Parliament in 1774 to the British colonies. The acts sparked outrage and resistance in the 13 colonies and were important developments in the growth of the American Revolution. One of the first people to fight against the British were the Minutemen. They provided a highly mobile, rapidly deployed force that allowed the colonies to respond immediately to threats by the British. The first shots starting the Revolutionary War were fired at Lexington, Massachusetts. Times had taken a sharp turn for the worse. Lexington and Concord had changed everything. One of the most important colonial victories was the Battle of Bunker Hill, June 17, 1775. This battle made both sides realize that this was not going to be a matter decided on by one quick and decisive battle. The United States Declaration of Independence is a statement announcing that the 13 colonies, who were then at war with Great Britain, would no longer be a part of the British Empire. It was also a formal explanation of why Congress had voted to declare independence from Great Britain. The first victory for the American military was at the Battle of Saratoga, October 17, 1777. This is now known as being the turning point of the Revolution. The last major battle of the American Revolution was the Siege of Yorktown, October 19, 1781. The British surrendered, and this signaled the end of the war. On September 30, 1783, representatives of King George III met with Benjamin Franklin and other representatives of the United States to sign the peace treaty in Paris. Now let's recap. I previously mentioned many of the battles in the American Revolution. Can you name some of them? Let's ask some Penn State students to see if they remember any.
Battle of Bunker Hill, Concord and Lexington,
Yorktown.
Yeah. I feel like I should know more than that, but that's all I can think about the moment.
What would you say was the most decisive?
No.
That's fun.
Honestly, can't think of one that I know of that I can say is would be decisive.
Okay.
Have you heard of any of the battles in the war?
Not like the specific names.
Not
really.
All right, that's fine. Do you know any of the battles that took place?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
Yeah, they're not really like any.
What do you think would have happened if America would have lost the war?
If we had lost the war, how do you think America would be different?
That's scary to say. I don't know. We'd have a king that lives on the opposite side of the Atlantic Ocean, so that would be pretty interesting. But honestly, can't give you a good answer. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well, if you had to give me like one, if we had lost the war.
We'd probably be an entity of England still. I mean, I can't like say that for sure. I mean, we probably would have tried again,
How do you
but
think like America would be different if like we had lost the war?
Well, we'd probably still be like under British rule, I would think.
Yeah.
Although I feel like by this point we would have had more rights. Like I don't think we would have
Then
continued to not have representation in the government. But
today, if we had lost the war.
Like I know Gandhi in India, I guess from what I understand, like he did like a peaceful protest and got the British to leave. So I don't know, I guess it might have been interesting to see if there could have been a peaceful result, but yeah, I think it would probably be a lot different.
How do you think America would be different today if we had lost the war?
If we had lost, well, it probably wouldn't be as structured as it is today. And there might be more fighting among our own country.
All right. If you had to like.
If you could describe the war with one word or phrase, what would it
If you were to
be?
give like one phrase to describe the war, what would you say it would be?
There's a lot of patriotism on the colonial side. There's a lot of patriotism. They wanted to be their own country, so they fought for their rights.
Gaining independence, I guess.
All right. Good stuff.
Brutal.
Brutal?
Yeah.
I want to say rebellion. Like they were trying to rebel against like the authorities that were trying to control
If
their.
you had to give me like one phrase to describe the war as a whole, what would you say?
I'm really, really, really glad we won.